in the Book of Mormon, we find a pattern for preparing for the second coming. A major portion of the book centers on the few decades just prior to Christ's coming to America.
The prophet translated it less time than that. So don't be too proud of yourself. Of quite miraculous, really, through the gift and power of God. We have a lot of suggestions about how it was done. We know that they had a table like this. We know they had the golden plates covered usually, and Joseph used these the Urim and Thummim, seer stones in the hat, and it was easier for him to see the light when he'd take that position.
My dear brothers and sisters, how grateful I am for the marvelous messages of this conference, and for my privilege to speak with you now. For the more than 36 years I've been an apostle, the doctrine of the gathering of Israel has captured my attention. Everything about it has intrigued me, including the ministries and names of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, their lives and their wives, the covenant God made with them and extended through their lineage, the dispersion of the 12 tribes, and the numerous prophecies about the gathering in our day. I have studied the gathering, prayed about it, feasted upon every related scripture, and asked the Lord to increase my understanding. So imagine my delight when I was led recently to a new insight. With the help of 2 Hebrew scholars, I learned that one of the Hebraic meanings of the word Israel is "let God prevail." Imagine my delight when I was led recently to a new insight. I learned that one of the Hebraic meanings of the word Israel is "let God prevail."
Do you see what is happening right before our eyes? Second coming of the Lord. Jesus Christ will govern from Old Jerusalem and the New Jerusalem, built upon the American continent.
And young women, please understand that if you dress immodestly, you are magnifying this problem by becoming pornography.
What my psychiatrist recommended is you can take medication
Whenever I come to this great city of Jerusalem, I feel a renewed reverence for Him who made this land holy.
Try this way, good soul. Women not only are the most natural, beautiful of all creations, of the natural wonders of earth and universe, they are also inspiring. Not just for artistic renditions over the course of human history, but women speak. And what they say can be inspiring, assuming that they are following that inspirational voice that comes to their head too, and share it with others. And so I have to first call out KSL for their evil. And it's because of me. KSL didn't catch it. Their audience wouldn't have caught it. But Devin, their meteorologist, last week or so, I guess it was last week, did her presentation telling us of the prediction of the weather in the coming week. And if you don't know Devin's bio, as KSL should know it, because it's on the KSL website, let me pull it up. So yes, it would have been last week. Mesculi, I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. She joined KSL in January. 2024. She's brand new. And already she's taken the evening lead in 2 years. So she's doing very well. And is the newest member of KSL weather team. She is the afternoon meteorologist on KSL 5 News at 4 p.m. Before heading to Salt Lake City, Devin forecasted, you do know this is predicting the future, right? The weather in Peoria, Illinois. This is where she's from. Unless she's from somewhere else. But I don't know if she's old enough to have come from anywhere else. As the weekend meteorologist for nearly 2.5 years, during her time there, she was recognized by the Illinois News Broadcasters Association with a Crystal Mike Award for use of videography in her storm coverage of an EF3 tornado in Lewistown, Illinois. She's a big deal. Look out, Wacky Bruce. I'm not sure if I can remember the title. A Jim Carrey movie where he's always out on assignment doing the menial stuff, keeping him down, rather than his true potential of being a news reporter. And so he has an experience where he meets God, and God gives him all his powers. Bruce Almighty. There it is. And so, yes, he's able to cause news during his menial assignments. to get the advancement at work and help improve his girlfriend and ruin it. You don't improve your girlfriend. She is already perfect. Don't touch her. And so, yeah, that's what that reminded me of. So, wow, she is impressive. And so, she comes to Utah. It doesn't seem like she moved with her family, that she did it on her own. She loves coffee, so she's not a Mormon. And this is why I see what they've done to her here in Utah. Food, trying new things, and exploring. So if you have any recommendations for her to try. Oh, have you heard about the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints? Yeah, oh, family, wait a minute. Growing up, Devin was always fascinated by the weather and watching the news quite a bit with her family. Oh, crap, KSL, you suck. When it came time to determine a major for college, Devin remembered how much she enjoyed watching her local meteorologist and decided she wanted to do that job too. KSL must back off. You've already caused enough damage with people's lives that are under your employment, not just the ones you've stolen from Fox 13 News Utah. Last week, Devin did a show showing on her arm, "Love you in words, Dad." It's on the website, KSL. You know this about her. And I understand, in Utah, you've got people who come out as gay at the graduation ceremonies, as the valedictorian or salutatorian, whichever one they were. And BYU goes into a panic homophobic frenzy. And yeah, graduation ceremonies are not the place to come out. But nonetheless, that conservative mindedness of people in positions of trust and control over other people's lives, you know, Lucifer's plan of happiness, wants to have everybody do a cookie cutter job for them, to not stir up controversy, to not become Francesco di Francesco. Yeah, Francesco di Francesco. Vincenzo di Francesco. It's weird. Where he's preaching from the Book of Mormon, didn't know it was the Book of Mormon, to his Catholic congregation. And people are fascinated by this new doctrine. New stories that they've never heard of before, but are religious. And so he's got everybody packing his church in. And so the leadership are saying, no, this is of the devil. All these other pastors are not getting people to come to their, you got to share. It's that mindset that KSL's got, that the church has got, that BYU has got. All things Mormon. KSL is owned and operated by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, in case anybody didn't know. And so here, they kidnap and hold hostage Devin from Illinois, as she's at least not an active Mormon. but a potential typical Mormon. But to put it on the website in Utah shows that she has an attitude that I really like. Even though I do not like the smell of coffee. And if I don't like the smell, if it doesn't look good, I ain't putting it in my mouth. I'm allergic to all things green, Mom. Best commercial ever. With an Academy Award for Mom. Awesome. Mac and cheese. You only see Mom for a brief second. She's there doing dishes at the sink, back to the camera. And the boy doesn't want to eat his dinner. Says, I'm allergic to all things green. And then Mom, in her best role ever, collapses at the sink with a sigh. Just smother it in cheese sauce. Velveeta cheese sauce. That's all you gotta do. And so yes, I know exactly what KSL is doing. They've done it to other women. They stole a Fox 13 meteorologist who now is delegated to the weekends. She's far more experienced than Devin, even though she didn't have this tornado experience. And she on Fox was competition with oh my God, okay, Ellison. Almost forgot Ellison, who I think disappeared in 2024 after finally getting married and having a baby. And so yes, local businesses can't exclusively hire Mormons, though they want to. It's illegal to do that. But nonetheless, that is a problem in Utah. And so, Devin got noticed by me, and I noticed there's something on her arm. And yep, love you in words, Dad, brought me to tears. That was awesome. She's an award winner for videography. She's a professional on this, KSL. She knows what she's doing. She watches the news with her family. Her family is watching. And I don't know what happened to Mommy. Why she didn't say love you in words, Mommy and Dad, Mom and Dad. But she has a special bond with her dad, for whichever number of reasons it could be. So yes, that also gets my heartstrings. That is harmless and actually beneficial to KSL. It's family oriented. KSL wants to be family oriented with the church. They want to let her be her. That's why they brought her over. Or was it just to breed her in the Mormon church? To have her stop drinking coffee. But this is pure evil of KSL. Because now, last night, she was in long sleeves. There's no need for that. wasn't cold. Yeah, I mean, it's still not really cold. Maybe for her in her younger years. But not last night. Nonetheless, they've got her covering up now so that she can't give secret coded messages on air. She's not promoting a social or political or even a religious agenda. It's a family agenda. Harmless and helpful to KSL. KSL wants this to get people going. Ooh, there's a meteorologist who's saying hi to her dad. Awesome. And then you get more viewers. So I pointed it out for several days, several videos, and KSL shut her down. That was wrong, KSL. Leave people alone. Let them do their job that you hired them to do. Don't tell them how to do their job, especially when they're award winners. Unfortunately, the church can't do that, and that emulates into the Mormon mindset. And they can't do it either. Now, ABC4, however, has a little firecracker that impresses me until she interviews a living prophet of Jesus. Or risks life and limb to go interview down where a murderer is with biker gangs and bugs. Sarah Murphy. But she's anchor woman. She has elevated herself to the top position for the news, for the evenings. See, that's KSL, dear God. They've got a top meteorologist from Oregon, I believe it was, not Washington. And they delegated her to the weekends, even though she got married. And then Garna, that they brought over a long time ago, whom the church pimped out. And I did all of the free Garna video series. But she eventually fell and now is married, and hopefully happily, and hopefully. But the church, despite Garna being a top professional in her career as a single woman, they brought her to Utah, struggled to get her married, church pimped her out, and after the big scandal, then she got married. Travis! And they've delegated her to the weekend as well. Nobody watches the news on the weekends. The weekend is where you are supposed to start, if not in the afternoons. And yet, that's what they did to Allison. Allison was top notch. Allison got people to watch and got people to spread stuff on the internet. Which made you wonder, is this true? I'm having a hard time believing that. nonetheless, a lot of guys had a crush on Allison. And businesses know this, that if you want your business to thrive, you hire women. You put them on the front lines for customer service, at the registers, on camera. Carl's Jr. knew this back in the day, and Nazi feminists shut them down, saying that the burger commercials were sexualized. Well, they are the female sex. Are you saying that because they're females, Carl's Jr. has to cover them up and hide them? You know, Lucifer's pure doctrine. Exactly. That's why they're feminazis. Worshipping Lucifer. Sports Illustrated has been attacked by feminazis, and they caved. And nobody's happy with that. I'm not happy with that. I'm not happy this year because they're using AI touch-ups. Dear God, they're women. They're beautiful already naturally. You're getting the best of the best for your calendar. And yet, feminazis destroy Sports Illustrated. The pure doctrine of Lucifer. Women need freedom from the patriarchal abusers. Not just in this nation, but in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. It is wrong to do this to humans, but especially to a targeted group called female. Leave women alone. And as everybody knows, this has come back to bite the church, as people believe. Alyssa Grenfell, not treated like Travis on YouTube, or his website, before the church shut it down. If you did a Google search for Travis Wayne Goodsell and clicked on images, and even if you didn't click on Travis, if you just searched for the church and clicked on images, I flooded the field. But in 2022, the internet purged its files, and I disappeared. And I reported on that scandal that went on. The church ordered the purge. Don't think that they did it on their own. No. See, with AI, they're building data centers. This is all they needed to do back then, is build data centers. They didn't have AI yet in its current form. It's not AI, but nobody wants to listen to me. But yeah, the more information put onto the internet, the servers need to have the space backup with the external devices for storage. And so, yeah, that's all they needed to do. And then pay for the electric bills so that the city doesn't get punished for your usage. But cities who allow these data centers in make deals and contracts for the people to pay the extra amount of electric usage, which is wrong, Governor Cox. guys notify your people when you do this kind of a stunt? No. Then you wonder why your economy tanks? The people are upset with you because of the high cost of living? Oh, we didn't realize that the scriptures are true. By their fruits you shall know that we're evil. So, Sarah, I've mentioned a number of times, I miss her in pink. I've got the one and only one picture in pink from way back in the day that I got from before the purge. And so, using her to boost her by promoting her for free on my channel, to use her against the church because her name is Sarah, right, Nelson? Sarah is Hebrew. It's princess. And so Nelson gets up at the pulpit of conference and says he studied the gathering his whole life, the lives, the wives of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. And so he claims, bragging, that he's the expert in the gathering of Israel. Wow, I am amazing. So in case you're listening to this point so far and you're still wondering, where are we going with this? Because you have not followed me. There is no script. No script. But to give you a spoiler alert, we're going over the Joseph Smith translation from Genesis because of the influence of a woman. Yeah. About the gathering of Israel. And so he says, with the help of 2 Hebrew scholars. I got the clip. They tried to deny it afterward, after I did my videos. Because the church knows me. The church stalks me. Strengthening Church Members Committee. They're supposed to stalk everybody. They've got to control all our lives and tell us what to do and take down our love for Daddy. That is who did it, Devin. Cazel? Yeah, Devin. Have her cover up and hide. Click. Cook is now in charge after D. Dodd became a counselor. And so yes, the Strengthening Church Members Committee, with minions committing cyber-terroristic crimes online for the church, have to download all content. There is a massive digital file on all of us. Not just Alyssa Grenfeld, who has destroyed the church. Got sidetracked from her, didn't I? No script. And so, yes, Alyssa dominates in destroying this church. She fulfilled Book of Mormon prophecy as I did that picture for you. Right there, from the Book of Mormon. And it doesn't say Alyssa, obviously. But the war of the church within themselves is like the war in heaven that we are told as Mormons. It's a debate about whose church are we going to follow, Lucifer's or the Lamb's. Notice I didn't say Jesus. And so Alyssa has successfully pulled mass numbers of Utah Valley, or Salt Lake Valley, Utah Mormons with the wards and stakes that are gone and moved because of lack of numbers. And there's more to come. This is Alyssa. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, through their Strengthening Church Members Committee reporting on Travis, are not concerned with Alyssa and let her go to destroy the church. So why don't they let me go? If they're okay with ex-foes destroying the church, why aren't they letting me go? Why are they investing so much time and energy to attack me on all fronts possible, to shut me down, to silence me, to cover me up and hide me like a woman? It's because I do the research. I know better between the scientific method and the spiritual method. Mormons don't get taught the scientific method and are told to stay away from it. And so the spiritual method. Get the right feeling, but apostates get the wrong feeling. And so Mormons leave the church with the wrong feeling, believing that that's the truth. The church still got you. They made you, and they know that because of the false dichotomy that they put Mormons in, you choosing the wrong, corrupting the righteous, will eventually get yourself into a situation where you realize that you've crossed that line into, oh my God, what have I done? I'm a coffee drinker now. How could I have descended so low? I've got friends in low places now. The church was so true. I need to go back on my hands and knees begging to be taken back. Now, obviously, it's not for coffee. It's for other things. This is a psychological manipulation trap that psychologists do. Scientific method psychology, nobody has a clue what that would be. It's not being done anywhere in the world. Instead, it's a spiritual method psychology. the false dichotomy and the false non-dichotomy categorization of human behavior of the Mormon Stanley Smith Stevens, born in Ogden, did his work in Colorado. So that when the Nazi psychologists were brought over from World War II Nazi Germany by the CIA, come right in. You have the behavioral, name-calling, bullying, abuse for your diagnoses. The diagnoses are merely the non-dichotomous categorization of human behavior. So when you're called bipolar, schizophrenic, and other sociopath and other diagnoses that they will change the name of when it's used by actual bullies in grade school on other kids. You know, mental retard. Yeah, that was original diagnosis. And see how childhood bullies pick that up and cause them to now call you special. And they still use that. You're special. You're special Olympics. Exactly. Because psychology is a fraud. It's a bullying, physical abuse of humans. It is pure evil. And here the church embraces it with family services. Here it is, dominating Utah as much as the church. And it's more likely that there are more asylums in Utah than there are happy endings that are more than McDonald's restaurants. But the happy ending massage parlors, I am deeply concerned, are for sex trafficking of Asians. And the cops here in Utah are too stupid to know this, to know how to investigate, because they don't even get paid to investigate. It's not in the budget. And so yes, with Tyler Kirk, or Tyler Robinson, yesterday, the big bombshell that went national. Yeah, everybody knows the case is in jeopardy. This was a major exposure of the prosecution. This is where the prosecution needs to be wetting themselves right now, fearing and tremble that they're about to lose their job, lose their license to practice, be disbarred, and go to prison instead of Tyler. Right, Oaks? So yes, lots of things are happening, and women are behind it all. I'm so proud of you. And the patriarchal authority is unable to stop this. As well as the other breaking bombshell, Utah has turned blue. MAGA Utah and the patriarchal abusing authority of government got busted trying to keep their power over Utahns. And Utahns said, oh hell no. They tricked and deceived Utahns into signing to have the vote for the election as a backup, because they failed to reverse the redistricting that they gerrymandered so effectively for decades. And now it's not going to be gerrymandered. Utah has turned blue. And so only AI now is going to save Utah. with the projection voting. Right, YouTube? That's how YouTube is shutting me down. I have quotas for views now because I have been designated into a low category of punishment. YouTube no longer allows people to do well to promote themselves. And so I get delegated to the lower realms of categories. So when I get a rush of views for a video, YouTube's algorithms kick in, go, oh, he met his quota already in the first minute. And they literally deny me views until the hour has passed and the next hour comes, and then I get my allotment of views with all the videos that I have for the next hour, and it's only the newer stuff now, and so on. They programmed this to do this. They have been struggling to figure out how to shut me up and silence me for years. Every conference, I can do a month in advance conference video predictions that will get a higher number of views in the beginning, but then the month goes on and people forget about it and it dies until conference, when all of a sudden they reemerge and I can get thousands of views. And YouTube has to go into a panic mode and try to figure out how to shut it down. And usually it takes a week or two after conference to calm my channel down. And now with AI, they've figured it out. They can program it to categorize me in the lower realms of, nobody likes you, Travis, nobody wants to watch, and so you're only allowed a certain number of views because you suck. This is criminal behavior. All of this, the patriarchal abuse, is criminal. What they're doing to Devin is criminal. What they've done to the meteorologists on the weekend, what they've done to Garna, what they've done to Allison, Sarah, it's criminal. What the church, Strengthening Church Members Committee do is criminal. It's abuse. The church is so paranoid of being exposed, of people leaving, that now people en masse have left. And so Sarah, to go back on her again, because I'm not following the script, her name means princess. And Nelson gets up and says, with the help of 2 Hebrew scholars, to my surprise, I learned one of the Hebrew meanings of the word Israel is, let God prevail. Well, you weren't consulting 2 Hebrew scholars then. Maybe from BYU, but I know Avraham Gileadi, who did the footnotes for that passage, and you had it pulled and replaced with an IE, and oh, there's prevail. IE is not HEB. So what are you saying, Nelson? Because 2 Hebrew scholars were assigned on the church, special church service mission to put in footnotes. Avraham Gileadi was assigned to the Old Testament to put in Hebrews, for which you would then punish him with October or September 6th. Hoax came out in October to tell the world through the Deseret News that we activated them by firing and excommunicating them. We're activating them. That's criminal. They had lawsuits available for them. The church always runs and hides behind the religion card for religious freedom to justify their criminal behavior. Not when you're a criminal. You've got no constitutional protections as a criminal. As a religion, you're just supposed to tell people to be good and treat others well. And you're not doing it. They want Mormons to be cookie cutters. You know, C is for cookie. It's good enough for me. But that's cookies. That's for dreams, Nelson. So yes, the debate is SAR in Israel. I knew the answer. I knew he lied. I knew the footnotes because I was involved in the revision of the footnotes project. I put in the correct translation back then too. Where did it go? Who took it out? Mine was correct. Who took it out? Who took out my other corrections? Who took it out? Idaho chick doesn't like it when I get angry. I get all green and hawkish. There are red lines. Murder is a red line that I will get angry over. Abusing girls and females is a red line that I will get angry over. And the church violates both of those to get me angry. Prevail is in Hebrew is what you need to look at. It is not SR. Prince. It's in the text. This is the manner of the Jews in writing scripture. They give you a name, and then they define the name for you. Those other words that are within Israel is the definition of Israel. Especially for the Genesis author. This was an easy layup. And Nelson botched it as the president of the church without the gift and power of translator. As he demonstrated at the April 2020 conference, he has no idea, but something like this. He exposed himself as a fraud, Mormons, and you still stayed Mormon. Church isn't true if he doesn't have the gift and power of translator. He can't be the head of the church. Not just that he doesn't have the right key to be the head of the church. It's the key of Moses. See, we're not there yet, but I haven't lost track. It's not scripted, but my mind, thanks to Mrs. Fiskin, it even surprises myself. Mormons are being tested for their loyalty. Women especially are getting the treatment. This is why they're patriarchal abusers. They want to know, will you conform and comply as a slave? As a sex slave, in the case of Garna. You must get married and have babies, Garna. You're way too old to be single. Likewise with Devon. She's way too old to be single, Devon. And here you are, still clinging to daddy. Bleep you, KSL. Sarah, who again wore pink last night. I'll reward you. And since we're 52 minutes in, I'm going to put this out there for you, Sarah. Because I know you don't watch my channel, neither does Devon. Unless YouTube's covering up and hiding my stats. When the church falls and transfers authority to me, you, Sarah, have an open invitation for an exclusive interview. Okay? I prefer you wore pink, but that might be distracting. Nonetheless, just putting it out there. I also am impressed with your blue Neo 70s retro that you wore yesterday. You know, it doesn't have to be pink, but I prefer it. Because that would have been awesome in pink. Nonetheless, I like this new wardrobe change of yours, Sarah. So, Idaho chick linked me to a YouTube video by a female dominantly. She's an alpha female. That could be why Idaho chick liked it so much. Because she's with another guy. I don't know if they're husband, boyfriend, I don't know. I haven't watched it yet. Idaho chick challenged me to watch it yesterday. And so, since YouTube was cyber terrorizing me and refusing to stop, I decided to check out the video finally. Make Idaho chick happy. Don't want the wrath of a woman. And the very first comment at the opening of her video had me going, what? She said that Joseph Smith prophesied to Congress. And so I needed to fact check that. There is the tendency, because of the church, using the spiritual method, even if it ends up being the doubt promotion and you leave the church. Mormons have the faith promotion, And when you are basing your belief system on something that's not real, you branch out into further not real stuff. That's why it's vital to use the scientific method of a meteorologist. And yeah, she might just be reading from the script, from the screen, but she does know the job. She knows the forecasting, even though it's now probably got AI in the system. See the rain that we're having now? It was supposed to be earlier in the evening yesterday, and it was, again, 2 hours late. So even with the new AI programming, it still isn't getting it. As an intelligence? Oh, it's just artificial? Yeah, well, it sucks, whatever it is, worse than before. The previous algorithmic models were better at predicting, even though many of us complained, oh yeah, if you don't like the weather, just wait a minute and it'll change. Because the meteorologist can't figure it out, even though it's just for a week. But if you notice, I talk in my videos about Venture Sky. This is the weather system for the whole world that I keep track of for the coming week. It's still fairly accurate because it uses satellite imagery in its forecasting. Nonetheless, the day when AI has erased the scientific method is the day mankind will be dead. But Trump insisted that the hurricane was going to Georgia and not the Carolinas. So he used a Sharpie, see? And now he's got AI. That's why. So whatever Trump says now gets to be done in AI. If you didn't know that and you were a news reporter reporting on Trump's Sharpie Gate, I don't understand. You reported it. You're supposed to have a filing system of all your news so that your minions who are free can just simply look it up when the news topic comes in for the day. You go back into the history and go, oh yeah, it happened on this day when Trump did it in his first term. Or when Trump gets up at his second coming inauguration and lists the illegals. You're gonna go, hey, wait a minute. Make America Great, KKK, supported the Nazis in World War II. The Nazis had identification labels, as we learned from Schindler's List, because we don't want to learn from history. And they were the inverted triangles. Oh, Ronald McDonald K. Jr. has now inverted the food pyramid, and nobody caught that? I'm horrified that the news, especially the Antifa news, who know that Trump is of the devil and fascist, like Hitler, and cave when Fox News calls them out. How dare you make such a comparison? Oh, we're sorry. We'll fire people. We'll conform. You know, MSNBC, Fox News, they're fake news. They're fake news. They can't tell the news. This is horrifying. And so MSNBC getting bullied repeatedly by Fox. Oh yeah, we are fake news. Oh no, let's change our name to Opinion News. Fake news. By name. Oh my hell. But this is how it works. And it's the dichotomous fallacy by the Nazis to divide and conquer. thanking their American liberators. Psychological manipulation. Bullying 101. So, power outages. Last night, as I checked, just out of curiosity, yeah, southern Salt Lake Valley, over 400. This morning when I checked, oh, Provo, huh? Over 400. Very interesting. But yeah, nobody has bothered to fix our electric grid. And Trump is exploiting that right now with the fuel crisis. And so, yes, that Nazi identification is Trump's illegals. And it's the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints' apostates. That's why I used that for my thumbnail picture yesterday, finally. I made the picture, used it in videos, never as the thumbnail picture. So yesterday I did, even though I probably should have used Alyssa. But that would have to be another video to repeat the information to have Alyssa as the fulfillment of the Book of Mormon prophecy. So yes, that's why women are abused in this church. Because they're Nazis. The Nazis were World War II, not before, even though Albert Pike said, yeah, this is what we're going to do. And it was done. They made Russia, named it Russia, for that reason. With the national logo of the Scottish Rites Freemasonry, 2 eagle heads. You know them by the secret codes that they use. Those are what you need to be concerned with, not a young woman who's saying, I love you, Dad, to help boost your business's ratings. I'm horrified with businesses who don't want to make money. You want to make a lot of money? Promote the women. And you will see your business thrive. Women are that powerful. Saw it at Blockbuster, and people were concerned. We had to tell them, well, if a man wants to apply for a job, he can do so. There's the kiosk over there. But we get women dominantly. And so all we have to choose from are women to hire. If you don't like us having so many women working at Blockbuster, then you get your men in your life to come and work at Blockbuster. And they go away and hide and shut up. Because men never complain. Hey, why aren't you hiring more men like me? There's the kiosk. Sit down, it'll probably take 5 hours. And ask you psychological behavioral questions. Knows what the scientific method is to use it for psychology. It's easy to do, it's right there in scriptures. It can fix the problems. But yeah, we've already got the problems, and that's another trap by psychology, is they create the mental retards And so when the mental retards are now brain damaged because of all the drugging, and in cases of drug users in the first place, they're now sent to psychologists to give a different kind of drugging. And so from one addiction to another, that's all psychologists are. They're addictions. You are in for life. Those teens in St. George need to be freed immediately. They were being abused. Leave them alone. They stood their ground. That's a law in Utah. They stood their ground. Let them go. Monica was on the case. I still see you, Monica. She's not getting activated very well either. I love you all, and I can never choose one. And fortunately, I don't get to choose. So there's no issue on that. But I am keeping an eye on you, Sarah. I would love it if that's what you're doing. But I know you can never tell me, and so I'll have to just accept that it's just a fantasy in my mind. Nonetheless, exclusive interview. It's all yours. So, I told you that you're probably going to do it right with me, aren't you? You cave to the living prophets of Jesus. But with me, you're going to go hardcore. So, I understand when you were at Rick's college, you passed up on Leanne Murdoch. What's up with that, Travis? She's my one regret in life. Just like Oprah, gets me to cry. Just like Oprah. So, coming back again for this cycle, out of order. It all has to do with the same subject matter. And we can't use gimme, gimme, gimme a man. I don't know what ABBA song we're going to use, and eventually I'm going to run out of ABBA songs to use, and I might have to repeat ABBA songs. Day 14. So, yeah, the recommendation by Idaho chick. Joseph Smith prophesies before Congress that America is going to be destroyed. I can't find it. And so that's what I'm fact-checking. Is she a spiritually promoting Mormon, to be faith-promoting and shocking on her channel, by branching out from her spiritual witness feelings to make stuff up? That she's not able to read and understand what she reads, which is a common problem in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Right, Nelson? They cause it. They get you to do it, to emulate the living prophets of Jesus at the pulpits of conference. And then you create your own stray doctrine that goes contrary to scriptures. I shouldn't have to worry about the rain flooding the left window. Maybe. So as long as we can cut it short within the next 30 minutes, we might, maybe not, if I read. You've only got 10 minutes for a lesson, Travis. New church schedules. See, Jasmine, clueless about how the church works. She's been going to church her whole life. As a little girl through primary, Sunday school. She knows she's now going to Relief Society or a singles ward. She knows about lessons, right? And yet, oh, this change is going to fix everything. Really? Shouldn't we run the test first? I did. I showed you it won't work. Running a test on trying to do a lesson in the amount of time that would realistically be allowed to give a lesson now doesn't work. So, I keep showing you in videos that reading scriptures takes up a lot of time. And Jasmine blew it. Being faith promoting, and yeah, YouTube punished me by recommending her video more often to get her at 66,666,6,000 by the last time that I saw it, from the 13 that I did in the video for her, all within a day. The Mormon promoted a fellow Mormon on YouTube to get her promoted for the church. This is criminal. And there's only the brand new lawsuits that are shutting this down, but it's gonna take time. And we don't have that time if Trump and Oaks are correct. Easter is the deadline, and Trump is coming out tonight to make the big announcement that he's being cleansed. He'll be cleansing in the message tonight. Signs in the heavens, guys, they never fail. I'm trying to teach you this. But that we'll cover later on. But there it is. Tonight, the start of Passover with the full moon. Pink moon. Hope you got another dress for tonight, Sarah. That's pink. It's the pink moon. Kind of need to wear pink. Kind of essential. Would really like to see another pink tonight. You have to wear pink. It's the pink full moon tonight. And you're probably not going to get this in time, are you? Because strengthening church members committee? No. Not for Sarah. For Devin and Monica, yeah. But not for Zara. For Garna, yeah. For the other meteorologist who's now delegated to the weekends on KSL, yeah. But not Sarah. You know, I like that in a woman. She still has to be nice, and she is. She is. Fox 13 News, Utah, over the generations, have had a lot of mean anchor women. They're very grumpy, and I know why, but I've seen the change when a certain Valentine's Day comes along. Now they're all lovey-dovey. For one day. Love them. To not abuse women. So, yeah, I found a document from the Joseph Smith papers. Joseph Smith goes to Washington. And yeah, Mormons have designated that from Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. The actual movie, Jimmy Stewart. Mr. Smith goes to Washington. He becomes a member of Congress. He is the youngin'. And so, in Congress, he learns that there's very bad things going on. And he pulls a Cory Booker to try to prevent an atrocity to his community, and wins the day, even though he collapses and dies. And so, yes, Joseph Smith, Mr. Smith goes to Washington. Joseph Smith goes to Washington. An easy pattern match. Mormons know how to do pattern matches, and yet, when it counts, they don't want to do it. And so the scribe was my third great-grandfather, John Solomon Fulmer. So it's a vested interest in me now. Whether or not it got put in my first draft of the complete works of Joseph Smith, I don't think so. And so now I've got it, so that now it will be put in. I already have it somewhere. But now I have it to be organized better. Better. Oh, God. It's out of control. I needed to know in the beginning how to organize the files for right now with all that I have collected over the years for the large and small plates of Nephi and Zion. Nonetheless, lots of abuse by the church to shut me up and keep me from doing my mission. And they're doing this on purpose, in case you hadn't caught on. Alyssa Grenfell destroying the church. Yeah, the church allowed this. They don't allow me. And the reason why is because they don't want Mormons to follow the true leader of the church. Alyssa will never be the true leader of the church. She's a woman. Right, Oaks? And so the church knows that if all these millions who follow Alyssa loyally turn her into a cult leader, which she is, in case you didn't know, that her lies about the church's lies is not a problem for the church. That's why they let her go. But to have a real, literal descent of prophecy show up, yeah, I put Holland in the hospital. And then I prophesied of his death. They know me. They know I'm the guy. That's why they're doing what they're doing to me. And it's going to backfire on them. They should know I've warned them about this. The law of Purim. All you had to do was leave me alone. But my 40,000 video revealed me. 40,000 people knew who I am. And where are they now? You didn't believe, did you? And here I am. You should have run the scripture test. Instead, you ran the faith promoting test, and I failed your faith promoting test. So you don't believe and you're gone. Scientific method from the scriptures. You know I'm correct. All Mormons know I'm right. And yet, they cannot defend themselves and the church with Scripture because they don't study it. It's only their feelings. And so, because I have evidence, they can only commit crimes against me. To defend the church, to commit crimes, to shut me up and silence me, because they know I'm not lying. And in this process, in our conversation, Idaho Chick was trying to summarize the video for me. And she doesn't memorize, and so she was trying to go off of her memory as best as possible. And from what I could gather from what she was saying, it sounded like she may have been going over the Joseph Smith translation of the Bible. And so that's when I caught this other part of it. But the Smith's address to Congress, he clearly did not know of the content of Thomas B. Marsh's affidavit to the governor of Missouri. Neither did the Danites. They didn't have the Freedom of Information Act back then. This was a government document kept from the public, from which Governor Boggs issued the extermination order. And the extermination order was only by voice. We are here to exterminate the Mormons. That needs to be understood. We know about this because of the Freedom of Information Act and people doing research to say, okay, well, Joseph is claiming there was an extermination order. Well, let's see if we can go through the archives of Missouri, and sure enough, the church finds it and says, we need this repealed. How could you do this to us? Even though we are in Utah now. We still have Mormons in Missouri because they think Jesus is coming here soon. They want to be prepared. Not listening to the living prophets of John Taylor and Heber C. Kimball, who says Missouri is going to be destroyed first before Zion. And Utah also. Nonetheless, Mormons branch off on their feelings. They don't pay attention to words. And so this is a fascinating thing that I really need to do in a separate video. Because the Danites, through Willard Richards, doing the church history, his version of it, confirming the affidavit of Thomas B. Marsh, not knowing they're confirming it. But at the same time, they're also exposing that they lied to Joseph Smith about why Joseph Smith all of a sudden has a knock on his door, you're coming to prison with us. What? What did I do? Yeah. These 3 documents are a bombshell, and they're all right there in the Joseph Smith papers. I think the affidavit is not. I don't think they put that in there. I had to get that through another source. But yeah, President of the Quorum of the 12, and I now have this 3rd witness of what he was told by the Danites of what happened. And he's telling Congress this. And so it's fascinating. Because this is 1839. This is before he comes out with 19 July 1840 that I again did the video for you. Was it yesterday? This is massive, people. You are not catching on to the bigger picture that I am trying to give you in as long of videos as I am, because we have to cram. You haven't been following me. This is why I do long videos now. I cannot do short videos. Oh, Nelson made this boo-boo. Oh, Oaks, did he say that? Oh, that was stupid. I can do that. I've done some of them as spite for YouTube's attacks. We'll see, because right now they're shut up and silenced. But I did predictions for conference. Will they be resurrected? Will they be resurrected and get more than 100? AI says no, we will not allow it. So. So that's another video. But Idaho chick had me checking to see if I could find what this woman was talking about. And so it's Joseph Smith translation covering Genesis 48 and 50. Because previously it's Genesis 21, and after chapter 50 we get into Exodus. And so there is some stuff, you know, circumcision and bloody man. With Moses' second wife. But minimal stuff. But yeah, I do see a lot of minimal stuff with Moses here. But we're focusing instead on Joseph Smith as Messiah ben Joseph. I've already covered this numerous times because it's in the Book of Mormon. Mormons aren't catching on. They're not wanting to learn. They don't want to believe. When I do stuff about Jews, Mormons go, and they run away and hide. And so that's why the picture Monday for that day of Passion Week is called Passion Week instead of prep for Passover. It's because Mormons don't understand Passover. They understand Passion Week, but not really. I'd have to say Easter. Oh, Palm Sunday. Oh. This is the indoctrination of the church. I can't get through to Mormons to give them the correct information for them to listen to. They don't want to listen. They see my picture that it's not faith promoting and they run away. Well, this obviously is nothing. Mormons don't run the test. This is the trap the church is setting for you to murder you. The church is not good. They're trying to murder you. And you're not wanting to listen. I am screaming, and you're saying, well, you're screaming. I'm not going to listen to you. And you've never read your Book of Mormon on how the people don't listen to the prophets who are screaming, you're going to die. You can't make that pattern match? God. Mr. Smith goes to Washington. Hey! Jews? Huh? Dear God, Mormons. Dear God. So, chapter 48 of the Joseph Smith translation. I've not read it in advance. Just be warned. Let's see what we got. And now of thy two sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, which were born unto thee in the land of Egypt. Manasseh was first, as the twin, and yet Ephraim is the birthright blessing son. And so Lehi of Manasseh, Ishmael, Ephraim. You need to know this in order to study your Book of Mormon correctly. Before I came unto thee in Egypt, behold, they are mine, and the God of my fathers shall bless them, even as Reuben and Simeon, they shall be blessed, for they are mine. Wherefore they shall be called after my name. Therefore they were called Israel. Let God prevail? No. Prince Yah, the God. The God, Prince Yah. Princes are not kings. They're heirs to become the king. Joseph is the king. Real simple, Nelson, and you botched it. And thy issue, which thou begettest after them, shall be thine, and shall be called after the name of their brethren in their inheritance, in the tribes. Therefore they were called the tribes of Manasseh and Ephraim. And Jacob, not Israel, said unto Joseph, when the God of my fathers appeared unto me in Luz, in the land of Canaan, he sware unto me that he would give unto me and unto my seed the land for an everlasting possession. Talking about Zion, because this is not literal history. Joseph is using the Spirit to write scriptures in Genesis 48. Revelation chapter 12 in the Joseph Smith translation. The stories are a vision in the likeness of things on the earth. The prophecy is the prediction of the future that Joseph is the latter-day Mormon of this role. His brethren are his fellow Mormons. You know, like script writing for Hollywood entertainment. There's a protagonist, and then there's an antagonist. And so you have a plot for the story. There's a climax and a resolution. Scripture. You need to know who the individual characters are. Who's the protagonist? Who's the antagonist? What is the plot? Each story segment is different. So it's not necessarily that you have Joseph in a completely different book of the Jews. He may not be the protagonist anymore. He may be another character. Whether he's the antagonist or not, we don't know. See, for example, Peter, in the Gospels narratives, he's the antagonist. Get behind me, Satan. You denied me thrice? Peter, as the head of the 12 apostles, is a bad guy. A wicked man who's not faithful to walk on water. You never caught that? But in Acts, after Jesus is now gone from the story, Peter is now the protagonist. And Jacob, the brother of Jesus, is the antagonist. And Peter now is the man like Moses. Chapter 15. Jacob, the usurper. Jesus is gone. Jacob, the usurper, is now in charge. Christians missed it, so did Mormons. Let's see. Therefore, O my son, he hath blessed me in raising thee up to be a servant unto me, in saving my house from death. What's the death coming in the latter days that Joseph Smith tells you about in the second vision? The Danites who come shall burn us and frame and blame Jesus for it. The day that shall burn as an oven. Keep the narrative simple. Who's the protagonist? Who's the antagonist? What's the plot? Pay attention to the climax and the resolution. Prophecy. This all has to do with right now. Joseph is me. I'm trying to save my house from the death of the antagonist, Oaks. In delivering my people, thy brethren, from famine, which was sore in the land. How does famine happen? Heat, day that shall burn as an oven. Wherefore the God of thy fathers shall bless thee, and the fruit of thy loins, they shall be blessed above thy brethren, and above thy father's house. For thou hast prevailed. And thy father's house hath bowed down unto thee. He's referring to the new name change, but not telling you it's supposed to be let God prevail. You're supposed to see in the context that he's the king, to be the king of Yah, Yosef, the reed, Yah, the reed. In Egyptian, the god Yah is signified by the reed. Mosiah, the first pharaoh of the 18th dynasty, of the moon god Yah. Do not branch off on feelings. You will be wrong. Stick to science. Thou wast sold into Egypt by the hands of thy brethren, betrayed by Mormons. Wherefore thy brethren shall bow down unto thee. He's the Christ. Section 45, where Mormons finally realize who their Christ is, and it's their fellow Mormon, and what they do. I don't see that happening. Mormons are very hard-hearted. From generation to generation, unto the fruit of thy loins forever. Mormons would rather believe in a not real Jesus with a body of flesh and bones as tangible as man's, but we'll never see him. Spiritually see him. For thou shalt be a light unto my people, to deliver them in the days of their captivity, from bondage, not yoking. Oaks changed it to bondage, bound to Jesus. Nelson was yoked to Jesus, and it's clearly bondage. Does Oaks know he did this on purpose? Does Sarah know that she's wearing pink just for me? And we'll get an exclusive interview? I don't know. They won't tell me. And to bring salvation unto them when they are altogether bowed down under sin. The church has set a trap. Okay. Now, Bruce R. McConkie knows that this is from the Book of Mormon. Moses, Aaron, and Joseph Smith are all named in this prophecy of Joseph in Egypt. Also, Joseph prophesied that the Book of Mormon would become a companion to the Record of Judah. No, Bruce. No. Because if you actually read that chapter, it says the Book of Mormon is not that book. And this is the problem of turning things literal history when they're not. This is a spirit, seer, prophet, revelator, translator. And the church leads you astray. And Bruce R. McConkie, oh my hell. Oh, funny guy, he knows no better now than he did then, that he doesn't know. And maliciously changed it to cover up and hide from Mormons. Alrighty, here we go. And Joseph said unto his brethren, I die, and go unto my fathers. He is expanding upon 2 Nephi chapter 3. This is a heads up, spoiler alert. Haven't read this yet, but I already know. I see the word pattern matching. And go unto my fathers, and I go down to my grave with joy. The God of my father Jacob be with you, to deliver you out of affliction in the days of your bondage. For the Lord hath visited me, and I have obtained a promise of the Lord, that out of the fruit of my loins the Lord God will raise up a righteous branch out of my loins unto thee, whom my father Jacob hath named Israel, a prophet, not the Messiah, who is called Shiloh. And this prophet shall deliver my people out of Egypt in the days of thy bondage. The Jewish Christ. Moses. The literal descent of King David. David, Moses. Mosiah, the first pharaoh of the David, Moses, 18th dynasty of Egypt. And David Moses III is the very King of Kings, Lord of Lords, the great high priest who went to battle in the valley of Armageddon against the Hittites. Armageddon won. And in the midst of the war, he put his foot on the Mount of Salem, for which afterward they built the temple and built the palace for the kings of Salem, all titled therefore Solomon. Title, not a name. Because Solemn is peace, Salem. The N at the end is a suffix determinative for king, or the land, kingdom. How would I know that? Am I a translator? Yeah. Had to decipher paleo here, bro. William Foxwell Albright screwed it up with his little pamphlet. Didn't even bother to do research. Dear God. Sir Alan Gardner said, hey, why don't you just do the acronym theory? Rig the whole thing and deny science. And as a result, the branch-off produced Proto-Sinaitic as the ancient original language. No, it's during the Ptolemaic period when they worshipped Hathor. You know, the goddess in the text. Dumbasses. But when you have a false belief and you branch out from it, that's what happens. You expose you're a dumbass and you destroy the scientific field. Right, psychology? And it shall come to pass that they shall be scattered again. This is not literal history. See, the coming of the Messiah, who is after Joseph Smith. Joseph Smith was 24. And he's now talking about Mormons getting scattered. And thus the need for the Mormon who's the Messiah to rescue Mormons and gather them together to Zion, to save them from the mankind extermination event caused by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, who are Jacob usurping Joseph Smith. Brigham Young. For he shall be made manifest unto them in the latter days. Mormons. 2 Nephi, chapter 3, verse 5. In the spirit of power, seer, prophet, revelator, translator. That's how you'll know me. The keys of Moses, the literal descent of King David, the surname Emmanuel, Sun God. Good cell is God's soul, from the British Druids, who gave you St. Patrick's myth. Prophecy. St. Patrick is me, chasing out the snakes out of Ireland that were chased out 300 years earlier. Revelation chapter 12. The dragon, the serpent, the child, Jupiter. Do not turn it literal history. And shall bring Mormons out of darkness into light, out of hidden darkness, and out of captivity unto freedom. Right there, 2 Nephi chapter 3, verse 5 is 25. Joseph Smith is to be remembered in the covenants of the Lord when the Messiah cometh. For he shall be made manifest unto Mormons in the latter days. There's some alteration of words from the Book of Mormon. A seer shall the Lord my God raise up, and who shall be a choice seer unto the fruit of thy loins. Notice it's not prophet, from Deuteronomy 18, verses 15 through 19. The Jewish Christ. But before times, a prophet was called a seer. That's what Joseph is trying to tell you. Thus saith the Lord God of my fathers unto me. And so Mosiah chapter 8 with Ammon to King Limhi. I've got some records. Do you know anybody who can translate them? Yeah, Mosiah. The King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the great high priest. He's got the keys of Moses, because he was involved in an exodus of the people, to Zion, and is a seer, which is also a prophet and a revelator and a translator with the Urim and Thummim. We can plug it into his computer and show you pretty pictures. Thus saith the Lord God of my fathers unto me, a choice seer will I raise up out of the fruit of thy loins, Joseph, as Messiah ben Joseph of Jewish tradition. And Mormons are like, huh? Huh? And he shall be esteemed highly among the fruit of thy loins. So I don't know yet about the woman's video. I don't know how she strays or if she is sticking to the script. I don't know yet. Idaho Chick is getting impatient with me. I need to hurry. These long videos. And unto him will I give a commandment, that he shall do a work for the fruit of thy loins, his brethren, Mormons, the Book of Mormon, but also the Kirtland Temple that I just did on the 27th of March, and then section 107 for the direct descendant of King David, Moses. The next day, you really do need to pay attention. I'm trying to get you as much information in a single video as I can. I know what I'm doing for my channel. And those who are faithful in trying to learn will be inspired. Just like I get inspired when Idaho Chick makes a recommendation. When Stanford made recommendation in December of 2024. That led to a whole string of recommendations thereafter. And because of Stanford's inspiration and inquiring of me, I then get inspired and do the video content or the replies to him. And here we are. Even though 2025 was just another test run. It was supposed to be 2020 and 2021. And he shall bring them to the knowledge of the covenants which I have made with the fathers. That's Joseph Smith. That's Joseph Smith's work. We're of the house of Israel. We're not Christian. And he shall do whatsoever work I shall command him. Senior, technically. But the son became the master, the apprentice. And I will make him great in mine eyes, for he shall do my work. And he shall be great like unto him. This is Joseph Smith Sr. speaking, in case you didn't understand what I was talking about. Because typically that's higher level knowledge. I've already shocked you with a whole bunch of stuff. And so you to be overwhelmed with new stuff is going to be hard for your faith bubble. But to burst it, Joseph Smith Sr. is writing this. He's talking in first person, in spirit form. Vision, whom I said I would raise up unto you to deliver my people, O house of Israel. That's me. Out of the land of Egypt. For a seer will I raise up to deliver my people out of the land of Egypt, and he shall be called Moses. David Moses, a direct descent. It's the man like Moses as a title, not the name. And by this name he shall know that he is of thy house. It's Emmanuel. For he shall be nursed by the king's daughter, and shall be called her son. My dad, the sun god. My mom, the queen. Murdered by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I don't recall that scripture story about Caiaphas murdering Jesus' mom. Maybe it's in the Gnostic Gospels. And again, a seer will I raise up out of the fruit of thy loins unto him whom I give power to bring forth my word unto the seed of thy loins. And not to the bringing forth of my word only, saith the Lord, but to the convincing them of my word, which shall have already gone forth among them in the last days. The Bible, 2 Nephi 29. I am inspired to do these videos, people. So the Danites are trying to tell in their journal entry, remember the three that I talked about? The Danites said that the Mormons who are faithful to Joseph Smith are unable to be convinced and persuaded unless physically abused to believe the lies. Because those who study the scriptures with a scientific method know that lies are not true. And thus, why the church must commit crimes against me and leave Alyssa alone. Wherefore the fruit of thy loins shall write, and the fruit of the loins of Judah shall write, and that which shall be written by the fruit of thy loins, and also that which shall be written by the fruit of the loins of Judah. It's not the Book of Mormon. Joseph Smith had nothing to do with the composition of the Book of Mormon. It's Joseph Smith's other scriptures like this. But the loins of Judah keep it in context. There's Messiah ben Joseph and Messiah ben David Moses III. Joseph Smith and I are the ones who will write to the convincing of Mormons. And our words will be combined together. I just told you earlier, I have on Academia the first draft of the complete works of Joseph Smith and told you that I need to make sure that his address to Congress gets put in it. And that I am working on the small and large plates of Nephi for Zion. All these videos. Idaho Chick tells me that YouTube has a transcript of it. But you gotta wait longer for the longer videos to get the transcript. I don't know. I don't want to do that. I want to listen to videos. And I choose what to listen to. YouTube. Nonetheless, it's available. Idaho Chick doesn't want to look at me. She just wants to read. I've had that dating experience with a neph. Oh my hell. Then she goes off and marries another guy and then is immediately divorced. Dear God. If what she said was true, oh dear God. Nonetheless, that's also a trap that the church sets. Mormons assume things in other Mormons, and so they rush into a relationship because they're finally excited that they might be able to have sex finally. And then they get into the marriage, and then they find out that their spouse is an apostate. Can't we all just get along? First, I admit, I was afraid. In fact, I was petrified. thinking I could never live without you by my side. But then I spent so many nights thinking how you did me wrong. And I grew strong, and I knew how to get along, and so I'm back from outer space. And I said, look, I don't memorize. And so I do wonder if I should again go back to other songs related, but if I can find an ABBA song, it'll be in there. But just know that I'm running out of ABBA songs. And so that which was written by the fruit of the loins of Judah shall grow together unto the confounding of false doctrine of the Mormons who have been scattered, by Brigham Young. Laying down of contentions and establishing peace among the fruit of thy loins, bringing them to a knowledge of their fathers in the latter days. Yeah, that's why I do church history videos, guys. And also to the knowledge of my covenants, saith the Lord. Yeah, I'm setting in order the temple. I'm the guy. And the church wants me dead and silenced. And you can't catch on from that? Alyssa Grenfell is physically destroying the church, but the church doesn't care about that. They care that I don't get known anymore. And you can't catch on, huh? And out of weakness shall he be made strong in that day when my work shall go forth among all my people, which shall restore them. What do you mean weakness? It was just an F on my 5th grade paper. Idaho Report. Calling me weak. Bleep you. I'm the one mighty and strong. Nobody ever threw a party for me, and I've been the good guy. The church's prodigal son video. Worst acting ever. Oh my hell. Who are of the house of Israel in the latter days. Mormons. 2 Nephi 29. A Bible, we have a Bible, and we need no more Bible. Mormons are the house of Israel. Book of Mormon. Christians are the Gentiles. Jews are the Jews. Real simple. And that seer will I bless, and they that seek to destroy. Ooh, seek and destroy. Ooh, ooh. Oh. Mandatory is Metallica. Metallica is mandatory, I mean. Seek and destroy. They are good Christian boys. I didn't, oh my God, I was supposed to do you first. Shall be confounded. La Purim, oaks, I warned you. Here we are, the first of Passover tonight at 6 p.m. Signs in the heavens, other chaos, and dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria, Mr. Mayor. For this purpose I give unto you, for I will remember you from generation to generation, and his name shall be called Joseph. And shall be after the name of his father, and he shall be like unto you. For the things which the Lord shall bring forth by his hand shall bring Mormons unto salvation. And the Lord sware unto Joseph that he should preserve his seed forever, saying, I will raise up Moses, and a rod shall be in his hand, and he shall gather my people together, and he shall lead them as a flock, and he shall smite the waters of the Red Sea, with his rod. But that's not the point. It's not literal history. It's me parting the waters in 2021, the Green River overpass. So seriously, somebody tried to break into the car while the guy's not around, huh? It's probably a dog trying to make escape from it. Like the teens in St. George. And so yes, the parting of waters, dry land appears, House of Israel, Ark of the Covenant, Seed, House of Israel, Promised Land, Zion. Ringing any bells? I know women would understand it. Apparently, by talking about these kinds of things, it gets all women hot and horny. If there's any woman still listening at this point, is it true? I don't know, I'm a guy. So, notify me if you're hot and horny right now. Even though that came out wrong. He shall have judgment, and shall write the word of the Lord, and he shall not speak many words, for I will write unto him my law by the finger of my own hand. And I will make a spokesman for him, and his name shall be called Aaron. I did that the other day for you. The definition corrected from the translation. And it shall be done unto thee in the last days also, even as I have sworn. Therefore Joseph said unto his brethren, God will surely visit you and bring you out of this land unto the land which he sware unto Abraham and unto Isaac and unto Jacob. Joseph confirmed many other things unto his brethren, and took an oath of the children of Israel, saying unto them, God will surely visit you, and you shall carry up my bones from hence. Community of Christ, Sister President. Yeah. The church didn't want the bones, but we'll take them from you. Because you no longer have a descendant of Joseph Smith anymore to carry on the tradition. So you're giving all the things away from your origins, becoming solely Christian. So we'll take them. And yeah, I know, I've been mocking you because you got conned by the church for several hundred million when you could have gotten several hundred billion. I will offer you several hundred billion for them, if you really think that money is going to be worth anything in the coming day. But yeah, they're pumping the stocks again. We'll see. See how long that lasts. And it shall be done unto thee in the last days, even as I have sworn. Therefore Joseph said unto my brethren, and Joseph confirmed many other things unto his brethren, and took an oath and bones. Oh my God, I'm repeating. So Joseph died when he was 110 years old. Has nothing to do with Jewish gematria or Jewish Kabbalah gematria. So you don't need to worry about that. They embalmed him, and they put him in a coffin, and he was kept from burial by the children of Israel, that he might be carried up and laid in a sepulchre of his father. And thus they remembered the oath which he sware unto them, and then they forgot it. and were led astray by the great and abominable church, and prophecies fulfilled. Prophecies fulfilled. So yeah, I've got to go and scripturize and footnote all that stuff. So yeah, we're still doing good in the window. I still might need to go and check to make sure I don't need to put a towel there on the windowsill. So, I think we're done. In the middle of last month now, because it's April, or near the beginning of the month, I'm getting those spidey senses tingling that there is likely to be something, as both Trump and Oaks said, by Easter. And so, knowing that certain movies are coming out on DVD for me, Tony and Ziva were supposed to come out on the 7th of April in the beginning, and then it got pushed back in America to the 21st of April on DVD. Well, I really like NCIS. I would really like to get the full collection of the spin-offs. I've only got Origins, the main NCIS, and now Tony and Ziva. It's a legitimate one. People didn't steal the copyright, sell it. This is a legitimate from a foreign country. In foreign countries, they release DVDs earlier than here in America, because everybody hates America, apparently. Especially Disney. Dear God. Zootopia 2. Oh my hell, guys. They are severely professional, and yet they came out with crap DVDs on purpose to force people to buy better quality or go specifically to their streaming site only. Bleep you, Disney. So I'm not going to go over Tony and Ziva. You know, she's not even Jewish. She's Spanish Catholic or something like that. Cota de Pablo. What the hell? Acting! You can be whoever you want when you're acting. So yeah, I don't care about that. Getting Hebrew wrong, getting the Jews wrong, getting Israeli wrong, that's a little more concerning. But that's the script writer's fault, not theirs. They're just the actors. So I'm not going to go into that story, but it's awesome. And I am grateful to have gotten it early, because I listened to that still small voice with my spidey senses tingling. And so even if there's again failure before Easter, I will know that I've got it now, and I don't need to worry about having to spend my money for April. I have saved the money by purchasing it for last month's budget. But if it all hits the fan, the church falls, the church transfers to me, and Sarah gets an exclusive interview if she wants it. And it's optional to wear pink, but I prefer it. If you need me to buy you another pink dress, okay. the church will have transferred everything to me so I can get you a pink dress. And I don't know if they're forcing you to wear wardrobe dresses. I don't think so, but you know, it's possible. And so, I don't know. But regardless, I can make it happen if things happen. And so, yes, having this is incredible. To, again, even astound me of my foresight, my vision as a seer, that apparently, despite all the evidence, Mormons refuse to believe. So, AI facial recognition still can't get it right. The facial recognition software, it's AI software. It's just now the AI chip in the facial recognition program. And they're deceiving you into thinking it's special AI. It's the same thing, it's just a different program chip in the program. Don't be fooled by any of this. Facial recognition still does not work. After all these, at least a decade or so, isn't it? And so, a grandmother was wrongfully arrested because AI said she did it. And so again, remember Tyler Robinson? How do we know it was him on the Luze building, even though it wasn't him who shot Charlie Kirk? Because the original photos that they put out from the cameras at the UVU were too blurry and fuzzy. So what did they do? AI'd it. Oh, yeah, now that looks like a person we know. Junior, get in here. What did you do? Nothing, Dad. I'm not going to go turn myself in. Well, if you're innocent, you've got nothing to fear. No, in Utah, you have everything to fear. I'm an apostate, Dad. I'm a transferee Antifa communist terrorist from Venezuela, Cuba, Gaza, Iran, Canada, and Greenland. They judge people based on their feelings, not the evidence. Corey Richens was judged as an adulteress, not for murdering her husband. Because she didn't do it. Dear God. Exactly. You cannot trust AI. It cannot be used as court evidence. And so again, I don't get it. Why is this case getting dragged on? And finally the defense says, hey, the bullet doesn't match the weapon you claim my client used. And I know it's a defense strategy. They chip apart piece by piece, and they'll eventually get to it's not Tyler's gun. But still, their client is innocent. But they're going through this process of crap rather than just coming right out from the beginning. Your Honor, no, there's no evidence linking my client to the case. And if they were an actual paid by Tyler wealthy firm, they would have done that immediately to protect their client and keep them out of jail. But Tyler had to get a court-appointed attorney, and they're getting paid now $2 million, last I heard. And so they're milking this. And it's evil and wrong because they're getting more press, like the Menendez brothers that they failed with, which is why they were hired. I see the bigger picture and I'm not happy. But it's not one of those red lines but I am very disappointed of the criminal activities going on in our court system. So, the new ICE camp. 10,000 are going to be housed in there, and they're going to overpack it, because that's what they do to the shelters. And Sister Homewrecker Mendenhall cut off their water supply. So I covered Devon being punished at the beginning. Conversion therapy. SCOTUS yesterday has denied Colorado from banning conversion therapy. In case you don't know what conversion therapy, A Clockwork Orange. I was on a date with Cynthia Pollard to, ask her out to the prom. We were at the golf and stuff in Riverside. Yeah, Riverside, not Riverton. Riverton is Utah, Riverside is California. And sitting there on a little cement wall, talking about, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite movie? She said A Clockwork Orange. I'm a Mormon boy, I don't know R-rated movies yet. I'm not old enough to have my own video rental card. That would be 17. So yeah, I think I did. Yeah. And I did watch it. And I'm still confused. Why does she like that? Why is she telling me that that's her favorite movie? In case you don't know about Clockwork Orange by Stanley Kubrick. He's got some British hooligans that are committing crimes, as boys do when they gather together in groups. And so they rape other women, they steal, they cause property damage, murder. They're a gang. And so they get caught. And so instead of doing prison time, they want to try a new experiment with psychologists on how to treat their behavior and control their behavior through shock therapy. And so he'd be strapped to the chair, forced to view scenes of violence and rape and abuse and horror over and over repeatedly. And that is supposed to somehow convince him that he is not supposed to be a bad person anymore. And then the end of the movie. Conversion therapy doesn't work. It is a torture device. Everybody knows it. But Trump made sure to put SCOTUS in according to the will of Dallin Harris Oaks through the Council for National Policy, through the Heritage Foundation and the other organizations of Project 2025, now Project 2026, to make sure that certain key persons get put into SCOTUS. Specifically in this particular case, Amy Coney Barrett, who's an oh my God Christian, who thinks that America needs to be turned into the kingdom of Jesus, and everybody must bow to the kingdom with her as SCOTUS. And so, yes, they're all in on conversion therapy for the gays. But this was from Nazi Germany. The psychologists to the Jews, to try to get them to deny their Jewish lineage. Deny you're a Jew. And here they are, being brought over to America by the CIA, Operation Paperclip, and The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints says, hey, bring the majority of them here to Utah. We've got some apostates to treat like Jews. We've got some girls to rape with a pint of Mormon blood. Epstein files, you all know this, right? And thus why the St. George teens need to be set free before they are further drugged with brain damage. This is the trap of psychology. To falsely diagnose, to get people as clients, drug them through big pharma, and then if you can get them drugged for years, the withdrawal symptoms are worse. And then they go, see, you're mentally retarded just like we told you you were. You need to stay on your drugs. Right, Dallin Harris Oaks with tardive dyskinesia, that is, he's near death. Are you going to make it to conference? Are ya? You're not allowed to. Isaiah says no. Don't do it. Curse of Joseph Smith looms over you, not just the curse of Emmanuel. Remember Messiah ben Joseph and Messiah ben David Moses III. This is the great and abominable church of Lucifer. And they are defying Joseph Smith and Emmanuel. You should have studied, Mormons. There are numerous Mormons who have left simply because of the words of Alyssa Grenfell, but you still don't know the truth. You are now scattered from the church without somebody to lead you, and so you're now going your own way, just like Mormons go their own way with their spiritual witness feelings. That is conversion therapy. It is pure evil. So yeah, no duh, Amy Coney Barrett wants it. They got the other MAGAs to get it, to keep it going. So yes, now Utah is wondering, are we going to have to restore our conversion therapy in Utah now that SCOTUS has said it's illegal to ban it? Remember, the church came out after it was banned and said, bring it back. And here they go. They went through SCOTUS now to do it. It's coming back, Mormons. And an ICE camp, concentration camp, to hold 10,000 apostates. Are you going to even have room for all of the electric chairs? It's coming. So, the feds have stopped Mormons from the BYU college prep program. Oops. A negative side effect that they didn't realize. Church will make sure they are notified, and then we'll be given an exception here in Utah. Don't worry. The Pope is addressing us at 7 p.m. Utah, Idaho time. And so the Pope is upset with Israel closing the Holy Land for Passion Week. This is Passover now, Pope. Step aside. You already came out last year 4 months late to confess your evil, that you're false, that you're the fulfillment of the iron feet mingled with clay of Daniel chapter 2. And here you are upset with Israel because you're false and you usurped the land. And then Islam usurped the land. It's Israel's land, mankind. Get out! You guys are the occupiers, not Israel. It's theirs, from the Nile to the Euphrates. Get out! Leave them alone. Ooh. That's right. That's the picture I should do. Okay. There we go. There we go. And so Trump has now signed a national voter registration list. He got it. Congress wouldn't do it. People wouldn't agree to it. So he did it. And there'll be lawsuits, but still, he's preparing in case of failure for the midterms. And Utah, everything is shutting down early, including the Buffalo Run, because of the biting bugs that have been born early. I told you, Sarah, you should have gone camping with me. I want to go camping with you. Maybe dance with you in your pink dress. You'll have to go easy on me. It's been a while since I took the social dance class at Rick's College, because I got tricked into going. At Rick's College, they had social dance where you learn the cha-cha and the waltz and other dance stuff. And yeah, I got an easy A. I knew it all. I did great, but I quit because I saw what was done to me. There are an overwhelming number of women to men ratio at Rick's College. 3 to 1, technically, which is doesn't sound like it's a lot, but it is. And so guys typically don't go into a dance class. It's women who want to go to a dance class. And so the teacher told the women, I'm sorry, women, if you want to sign up for the dance class, you have to bring a dance partner with you. Because otherwise, guys are not independently going to join the dance class. And so, that's how I got conned into going. A woman batted her eyes. Let's take the dance class. Okay, sounds like an easy A, and it was. But I bailed, so I got an F. After I found out that that's all she wanted me for. And so, yeah, she brought me in, but because there were other guys who wanted to dance and didn't have a date partner, yeah, she went after those. I was not happy being betrayed, even though I know. I still remember. So maybe I can pick it up quick. Just so that you know. Go easy on me at first, until I pick up on it. Exclusive. Just for you, Sarah. Just for you. But we have to wait for the church to fall and the transfer of authority. And here we are. It's that time of the year again. What are you doing? Not click on you. Bleeping hell. I'm being cyber attacked right now in progress. Unbelievable. I shut down the video too early, even though we're over 2.5 hours. Another one. The sign in the heavens for tonight. Yeah, I warned you about it earlier, but only covered Venus and Virgo. The woman, Joseph Smith translation, Revelation chapter 12. The woman is the church. There are save 2 churches, Mormons. Church of the devil, church of the lamb. Church of the lamb, there is the full moon, the pink moon, in Virgo that gave birth to the lamb. So there you have the full moon in the womb of Virgo. That's the church of the lamb. And it's the full moon for the start of Passover, the one like Moses, the prophet, the seer, the one mighty and strong, the man like Moses, the Messiah ben David, Emmanuel. So in Aries, the ram-lamb constellation, where Abraham sacrificed Isaac and a messenger appeared, and then a ram appeared for the sacrifice, that constellation, sacrifices. Venus, the church of the devil, the wife of Mars, Russell Marion. Mars, baby name meaning. The inverted pentagram on the keystone of the doors of the Salt Lake Temple. The church of the devil. The great and abominable church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints of Brigham Young. The devil has now entered into Aries, when the womb has the full pink moon of the Church of the Lamb. So as you go over to the first presidency, and Trump, it's also government, but we don't go over government on my channel, though I occasionally revert to it. Yeah, Trump is giving a message tonight, and there's Mercury, Trump, in the government translation, having been cleansed. If you pay attention to the news, you'll understand what this means. So tonight, he's going to talk about cleansing. The KKK America First version. I already know in advance of what Trump is going to say. And so you've got the president of the Quorum of the 12, which is now Uchtdorf, as Saturn, and then you have Mars as Oaks. Mercury in this religious translation is Irene. Irene has now been cleansed, whereas D. Dodd is Venus. So there's multiple translations here depending on the character assignment the scriptwriter gives. Do not mix them. And so, yes, even though Venus is now entering into Aries territory, you need to consider all of this as the conjunction. And so Venus at the mouth of Aries, Mercury, the mouth, being cleansed, sacrificial ram for Aries, cleansing, cutting off. And then you have Saturn at the tail of the sea beast, Revelation 12. The sun there for government, thus the first presidency of the church. And there's oaks in the midst of all of this, to be joined to all of those symbolisms. So pay attention tonight. It's going to be interesting to see what happens as a result. All right, back to Misled by Kool and the Gang.